The last movie in my January tradition of talking about movies that are getting sequels this year, and I'm so happy this movie's actually getting a sequel! Frozen. So Frozen, everyone knows what Frozen is. If you don't, I'd be thoroughly shocked. It's a Disney animated movie. It came out a little over 5 years ago. It's been a while. And it's loosely based off the old fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen, The Snow Queen. So we got the Kingdom of Arendelle, right? And we got two sisters in charge. Princess Anna, voiced by Kristen Bell, and Queen Elsa, voiced beautifully by Idina Menzel. Now, Queen Elsa was born with ice powers, you know? She can freeze stuff and shoot ice beams out of her hands. It's really cool looking. She's basically an ice bender. The problem is she doesn't really know how to control her powers, which puts her in a constant state of fear. So much fear, in fact, that she has shut herself off from the rest of the world, including her sister. So that is how life is for Anna and Elsa until the day of Elsa's coronation. Her powers are accidentally let loose in front of everyone, and people don't see that in a good way, so she leaves, so Anna goes on a journey to find her, and the movie goes on from there. And I'll be honest, there are a lot of reasons I love this movie, and I can really go on and on. First off, we got Princess Anna, voiced by Kristen Bell, probably the most relatable Disney princess of all time. Because she's clumsy, she's awkward, she's not introverted, but she just has no experience being around people, since the kingdom's gates have been closed since her childhood because of her sister. So during one of the musical numbers, she's going on about how she's going to react to all these people and how happy she is about it. Myself being an introvert, I watch this and I'm like, I've thought those exact same things. But folks, let me tell you something. This movie would be nowhere near as awesome as it is without Queen Elsa, voiced by Idina Menzel. Honestly, one of the best casting decisions Disney has ever made, or at least Disney Animation. And the reason it works so well is because when you have a character like Elsa, who can't control her powers, and is frightened of not just how people think about her, but she's frightened of herself as well. What other Idina Menzel character does that remind you of? Yeah. There's so many similarities between Elsa and Elphaba from Wicked that it's like a no-brainer that Idina Menzel was cast to play this character. And it's just perfect. The bummer is that there is a big chunk of time, like in the middle of the film, where Elsa kind of takes a backseat. You don't see her for a while because we're following Anna on her journey to find her. And joining her on this journey is ice salesman Kristoff, voiced by Jonathan Groff, and his reindeer Sven. And he's essentially the closest thing you get to a male lead in this film. I mean, really, when it comes to leads, it's two female leads. Everyone else is supporting characters. But Kristoff is the most prominent dude in this movie. But anyway, Kristoff is pretty much Anna's guide to where Elsa is hiding out because he knows the mountains really well. And so you get the bickering back and forth, and the chemistry is really good. And then you have Olaf, voiced by Josh Gad. He's the comic relief. And honestly, he's not the funniest comic relief character in any Disney movie I've ever seen, but he still gets some laughs out of me every time I watch this movie. I mean, his introductory song just cracks me up. He's just kind of oblivious to what's going on around him to an extent, but he doesn't annoy you, you know? He's a good character. The way he kind of comes apart and can fit back together makes for some really good humor. So you have Anna, Kristoff, Olaf, and Sven going on their journey to find Elsa. All the while, we got some really good music. The music in Frozen, and I don't care what anyone says, it's great. All the songs are good. Yes, even Let It Go, which won the Oscar, and rightfully so. And I'm talking about the movie version, not the Demi Lovato version. I hate that version. Because Idina Menzel's Let It Go is pretty much like Defying Gravity in Wicked. It's the isolation and now I'm gonna be awesome song. It's the showstopper. It's awesome. I'll admit it is a little too poppy, as are most of the songs in this film. You know, they don't take after the culture, the Norwegian culture that this movie's showcasing. Like Moana's songs, most of Moana's songs, you know, they sound like the Pacific Islander kind of music. The songs in Frozen are more show-tuney. But once you accept that, you realize that, yeah, these are still great songs. And the score is also great too. It was composed by Christoph Beck. He would later do Ant-Man and the Peanuts movie, and he uses little motifs, you know, for certain events in the film. He created some musical themes of his own that aren't in any of the songs, just in the score, making the score pretty memorable, which is hard to do in a musical. And of course, this movie is just beautiful to look at. I'm not just talking about Elsa's ice powers when she's doing her thing, which is also great, but just the design of everything. You know, this is where the Norwegian influence really comes in. You just look at everyone's like clothes and the buildings and the town and everything. There's such intricate design on everything, and it's very specific to this movie. It just shows that the filmmakers really went the extra mile. Attention to detail. It's in there. So do I really need to say any more about why this movie is so great? I mean, from its success, it spawned a couple of short films. Frozen Fever, which came out in front of the 2015 live-action Cinderella, and it's actually really funny. And then you have the 20-minute Olaf's Frozen Adventure, which came out with Coco, and it's also really good. It is a bit long, so it doesn't really work when you're watching it in front of a movie, but watching it by itself, it's great. It's a Christmas-themed one. And the movie also spawned a Broadway musical. I haven't seen it yet. I really want to, though, before the sequel comes out. I still can't believe this movie's actually getting a sequel. This is the first Disney princess movie to get a theatrically released sequel. It's exciting! For those of you who haven't seen the leaked first look photo yet, here it is. Anna's hair is longer. Looks good. So yeah, in the end, Frozen, yeah, lovable characters, great music, beautiful animation, and a really good, heartwarming story to go along with all of it. So Frozen, have you seen it? What do you want to say about it? Here's your chance to lay it all out. And are you as excited as I am for the sequel? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.